tonight we could see some single digits. Certainly bitter out there, and many of us can work inside like some, but that is not the case for fire department crews that work to keep you safe, especially this time of year. Our Lauren Swinker is live with the Parkersville Fire Department this morning to talk a bit about how these conditions can actually affect their calls. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning, Caitlin. This morning we're joined by Deputy Chief Mike Pruitt. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Let's get right to it. These cold temperatures do affect you guys and response call times. How so, and how does it affect your guys' equipment?
Well, when this cold weather sets in, it's one of the most brutal times of the year for firefighters across this state. And when we roll out the door on a fire, as soon as we hit the ground, that cold has an effect on everything from our fire gear to our bodies to our fire trucks, and things start to go bad if we're not paying attention to it. So when we're looking at our fire gear, when we're fighting the fire, everything's warm. Unfortunately, that's the situation we're dealing with. But when that fire is out, that's where we tend to get ourselves in trouble, because now our gear starts freezing up, our hoses start freezing up, especially if it's a prolonged operation. The fire trucks freeze up. This is 1,000 gallons of water on this pumper. Does us no good if the pump freezes, if the hoses. So we go through a lot of different challenges during cold weather operations, slipping and falling. A lot of the same things that, the average citizen, other than they're just not on the end of a hose line. So, these air packs will freeze up and actually stop functioning. And so these are things we have to pay attention to. Sometimes we have to double up our manpower on these scenes.
Have you guys ever had a situation where you guys were fighting a fire and your water source completely froze off?
Absolutely has happened. We've had, like I said, things start to break when it's cold, and especially we get closer to zero, it even gets worse. So yes, we've had those operations where we've had to pull people out because the fire apparatus failed, and that's why we back it up with multiple apparatus, so if that happens, we have a plan to take care of that.
For people watching at home, whether they're calling you guys if somebody slipped and fell on ice or just any other medical emergency, what can they do to make sure that you guys can get to them quicker?
Well, one of the things we faced over the last couple of days was access to people, driveways. We cover 72 square miles of area. Some of that is rural. Clearing driveways, keeping sidewalks clean is very important, because we had to do a lot of that over the last couple of days. So that just slows the process down of getting medical care to those individuals. So it's a big challenge for our EMS folks working the streets also.
Yeah, and that's very important. Good information for people to know that are watching this morning. And we just want everybody to have a safe and healthy New Year. So thank you so much for those tips. And we'll be back here at 6:30 to show you guys a little bit more about what you can do to make sure that they can get to you safely. Caitlin?
And thank you for that. Some good advice. It's always interesting to hear how they can respond in these temperatures. We appreciate you.